Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So we're so close to The Walking Dead returning. We're actually, I believe, 11 days away, right? Let me do the math really quick. And by math, I mean asking Google how many days. So yeah, okay, 11 days, exactly, yeah. So 11 days away. I mean, really, our Sundays are sort of devoted to The Walking Dead for the next however long anyways, because this Sunday, we actually have a preview special. So I'm really excited about that. And I want to talk about that in this video. I want to talk about what we can expect and really start talking about episode 17, because that episode is, it's not airing this Sunday, but the Sunday after. So I think we're sort of in that territory now where we can actually talk about the episode sort of weekly now. And so, yeah, I'm going to focus a lot more on episode 17 now. So obviously, before going any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get more Walking Dead content like this. The preview special is dropping this Sunday, and they did announce a bunch of guests and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about that. We'll talk about that in a second. There's a lot of stuff that they're going to be able to get into. I mean, this is the last preview special, I guess, for the main show. They're going to do preview specials in the future, obviously, on like the Rick and Michonne television series and all that kind of stuff. But this is our last preview special going into the last episodes here. The guests that we have are Angela Kang, Paula Lazaro, and Cooper Andrews. They're going to be attending the preview special. I imagine we could get some stuff from some other actors as well, just like interviews and stuff maybe, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, the thing about preview specials is that they're exciting, but like there's a lot more talk about the process of doing things and just sort of just things like that. And I imagine this preview special, which I definitely think is worth watching for sure, because it is really the last one for the main show. This one is going to focus a lot, I believe anyways, on like the fans and sort of their experiences with all the characters and just sort of, they're going to be touching on stuff from the whole series, right? Throughout seasons 1 to 11. And so we're going to be learning a lot about stuff like that. And then obviously they'll talk about a lot of stuff here at the last episodes here. There's also going to be a review embargo that is lifting tomorrow. So tomorrow there's going to be a bunch of reviews that drop for episodes 17 and 18. And this is, again, tomorrow I'm going to do a video. I'm going to do a bunch of research on all of the reviews and just sort of, like we'll take a look at some of the reviews and stuff and just see generally what people are saying online about episode 17 and 18. And this is the fun part. Like, this is the stuff that I really like going into each like blocks of seasons, is like seeing what everyone is sort of feeling. And now we're definitely in the territory where The Walking Dead is approaching, and it's really going to feel like it as of tomorrow. Like tomorrow there's going to be a bunch of stuff that does drop. And so, yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I'm hoping that there's going to be some good things to say about episode 17. We'll talk about that in a second here. I want to go back to the preview special, but yeah, I mean, if you're starting off these 8 episodes here, you really want to start off good. And I'm wondering about, them dropping episodes 17 and 18 together. I find that a little off, because like, why do you drop 2 episodes together? I imagine it has nothing to do with the story. I don't think it means that episodes 17 and 18 are slower episodes, and so they give us 2 episodes to sort of make up for that, right? Like, I feel like in the past that has sort of been a thing. But I don't think that's the case here. I think what's actually happening here is that they want to be a week ahead of schedule, right? So instead of airing the episode on AMC Plus, say a week early, so not October 2nd, but whatever the hell, September 25th, instead of airing it a week early like that, because they've done that in the past where people can watch the episode a week early, I think it actually makes sense to have everyone watch the premiere on the same day. Some people are going to be watching it earlier in the day, but before that Sunday night. I'll definitely be watching it earlier in the day, and I'll have my review up at some point during the day or maybe early morning. Actually, I'll probably stay up every single night until like 3 a.m. Eastern, so I'll have my review up around like 5-6 in the morning or something like that. So for this one here, it's going to be episodes 17 and 18, so I'll probably watch 17, to be honest, do a review, maybe a trailer breakdown if there's one for 18 anyway, so I don't even know if they'll even do that, and then sort of do an episode 18 video. Well, actually, you know what, there's probably no point. I won't do an episode 18 video, but between that, I'll just sort of review 17 and 18. I'm going to review them separately, though. Like, I'm definitely going to review them separately. I'm going to watch 17, review it, give some thoughts on what I could, what I see happening in 18, and then watch 18 and review it, just because it's a little more fun that way, and there's honestly a lot to talk about in each episode. I don't want to combine both of them in one video, right? I am really wondering with the preview special here, they've been talking about it quite a bit here, and I am wondering if they're going to be giving some sort of cryptic teaser, because yes, they're going to be talking about their experiences and sort of the fans and all this stuff, but like, there's got to be some, like, towards the end, because this is essentially Talking Dead, right? It's a Talking Dead preview special. Towards the end, there's usually some sort of cryptic teaser. They usually tease some stuff, and I wonder if we're going to get some stuff there tomorrow. I actually wonder if there's going to be, actually, it is a preview special. Actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I can almost guarantee we're going to see a scene that we haven't seen yet, just because they usually do that, right? So I imagine we're going to get that. There's going to be some talk about whatever, And I'm just hoping for some sort of cryptic tease about Rick in some way. Like, I don't know how much she can really say, and I don't know how much they even really want to say, right? Like, Gimple and Angela Kang, they didn't want to answer a single question when they were asked about that pretty recently. So I imagine they're not going to say a single thing here, right? I think if anything comes up with Rick, it's going to be a surprise. It's going to be something that the fans are just going to experience firsthand, right? And I think that's smart because that's one of those things where, like, if you're writing this very final episode, like say episode 24, right? And you want fans to really love it. It's the final episode of The Walking Dead, blah, blah, blah. Like, how do you make it really amazing? And so you want to have some of those reveals. I'm not saying that Rick is going to be a reveal, but maybe having Rick in a post-credit scene or something involving Rick in that last episode, you know, that's going to be something that makes people so excited that I think that they kind of have to do. And I think they know if they just keep it a secret and have that moment happen in that final episode, it's a win-win situation. People are going to go nuts about that last episode. And so I think it's kind of smart to sort of, you know, you don't want to tease anything beforehand because the last episode ever for The Walking Dead should have a lot of hype built into it, and there should be some surprises, and it should really be handled as such. You know, this isn't previous seasons where you would have a season finale. Like, this is the end of the show. So, I don't know how much of a cryptic teaser they could give, but I imagine there will be some stuff there. I mean, you never know. They could talk about the CRM, but then again, like, any mention of the CRM and immediately people are connecting the dots to Rick, right? So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Honestly, however they handle it here at the preview special is probably going to be how they handle it for the rest of, I guess the next 2 months, right? And that's what I wanted to talk about, you know, in terms of episode 17 expectations. You know, again, I brought up before, why are they dropping 2 episodes in the same night? I do think it's more of an AMC Plus thing. You know, having said that, my expectations for episode 17 aren't that high. Though I am really wondering where they're going to go with certain storylines, like with Pamela Milton's storyline. You know, we kind of get it with some of the other characters and stuff like that, but I want to know where they're going with that storyline because that's essentially one of the bigger storylines of the season here, right? You have Pamela Milton, who's been sort of, people are protesting and stuff like that, right? So she's dealing with all of that right now. Sebastian's going to be dealing with all that as well. She's feeling a lot of pressure, you know, she's under a lot of stress, and we're going to see her fight back. You know, in the trailer, we see a lot of shots of her just sort of yelling or like, you know, she's dealing with a lot of stuff. I do think a Walker horde is going to go through the Commonwealth. We've talked about that a lot. But besides that, there's obviously going to be a lot of stress with what's going on with things. And I wonder if she's going to like betray Lance, you know, if she kind of looks at Lance as like, you know, like this was handled really well until you brought those people in and that was sort of your judgment. And I think like you're done sort of thing. I wonder if Lance will sort of, you know, betray Pamela Milton as well and side with our group. I've kind of wondered about that. Just because it kind of feels like in some of those shots there that he's almost working with them or like telling them information more than he should. But then again, I believe he's probably captured at that point. But we'll have to see where things go. And so my expectations for episode 17 really are, I really want you to set up the last 8 episodes here really well. And then going into episode 18, I also want them to push a little bit more here with the story as well and get into some stuff pretty fast because there's some big things that I want to know, you know, like the Tyler Davis mystery, finding out Rick's alive. There's a bunch of that stuff. I don't think those are happening in 17 and 18. Episode 19, I believe, is going to be the one with Aaron and Jerry and everyone at that castle and dealing with those walkers and stuff. And so, you know, depending on what we get in 17 and 18, 19 feels like one of those standalone episodes that's going to be dealing with the return of those type of walkers, right? With season 1 walkers. So you really only have episodes 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24, because that's 5 episodes to sort of go through some of that stuff there, which is definitely a lot of time because there's only a couple things there. But again, it really depends on where episodes 17 and 18 go, because at the end of episode 18, you know, I imagine we're going to get a trailer for 19, which is going to show some of those, you know, evolving walkers. And at that point, we're going to be talking about the other elements of the stories, you know, like what is Daryl up to now? Like, what does Daryl do? What does Connie do at that point? And Maggie and whatnot, right? And that's going to be some predictions we have for episodes like 20 and going forward. And so, you know, episodes 17 and 18, I don't have a lot of expectations, but there is sort of, I guess I have higher expectations for 18 than I do for 17, just because, you know, obviously that has to do a lot of setup for stuff for 20 and 21. And of course, I am assuming that episode 19 is just going to be a standalone episode with Aaron and Jerry and whatnot at that castle. You know, obviously that might not be the case. They might show other stuff, which I think is probably really smart, but there's a lot of stuff to go through here. Like there is a lot of stuff that they have to get through here. And, you know, looking at all of it, looking at all of the stories and stuff, it almost makes more sense to have that finale episode sort of be the one where everyone finds out Rick's alive. Like, don't do it beforehand. Maybe some characters find out some stuff. Maybe there's some clues regarding some stuff. But maybe that's the episode where they find out he's alive. And again, if it's a longer episode and stuff, it's easy to sort of handle all of that. And then it depends on the emotions and what is happening there. But, you know, I could definitely see that playing a role in a lot of this. I can see them ending this right in a way doing that. It just depends on, you know, what their plans are overall, because we know that they're trying to expand into different shows and stuff. But this is sort of the thing though, right? Like people are always saying that like, well, the ending's not that exciting because the characters are still continuing on. Well, the actors, the writers, the showrunners and stuff, you know, they're all saying that these last episodes end the Walking Dead story. There's no setup for the spinoff sort of thing. And I do believe that. Obviously, there's going to be some setup sort of throughout because of just where the characters sort of end their stories. But there's going to be a completed story told here. So it's just, I'm really interested in how they manage all this stuff. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's sort of my expectations here for 17. It's just like, you have to do some good setup. You have to introduce some interesting storylines. And I say get right into the action immediately, because you kind of have to based off of where you ended, but you have to set up the next 8 episodes, or next 7, I guess. I don't want it to feel like a continuation of 16. I want it to feel like, you know, obviously you have to have some sort of continuation because of the cliffhanger that 16 ended on, but you need to set up the next 7 here. And I do think they're going to do that because they're pretty good at doing that, but obviously until we watch the episode, we don't know. I'm just very excited. I'm super excited for The Walking Dead to return here. And yeah, I'm just excited to be doing videos and stuff like that because it's been a weird, like, you know, break here from The Walking Dead for the last however many months. I mean, it feels like it hasn't been that long, but it has been a really long time. Like, when did The Walking Dead finish airing for part 2? I think that was the end of March or something, right? So it's been a really long time, but yeah, anyways, I'm gonna leave it here. Definitely post all your thoughts down below. Make sure to be a subscriber if you want more Walking Dead content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.